The sun rises slowly over Yosemite Valley, casting golden rays across granite cliffs and sequoia crowns. In the hush of early morning, the park begins to stir, not just with wind or falling leaves, but with life. Life that claws, soars, creeps, and caws. Yosemite is not simply a beautiful place, it is a wild, breathing system, a constant contest of survival, hidden beneath waterfalls and pine needles. Carved by glaciers over millions of years, Yosemite's landscape is a cathedral of stone and sky. Towering peaks like Half Dome and El Capitan rise like giants, their flanks weathered and scarred by time. Waterfalls plunge from their sides in spring and summer, ribbons of ice melt roaring to the valley below. But beneath the awe lies a harsh truth. Every creature here, from the smallest insect to the soaring eagle, must fight to survive. In the early light, the Sierra Nevada foothills whisper with movement. A black-tailed jackrabbit freezes in the grass, ears twitching. Nearby, a coyote watches with sharp amber eyes. The jackrabbit darts, the chase ignites, and the game of life begins anew. This daily struggle plays out again and again across Yosemite's sprawling 1,100 square miles, an endless loop of predator and prey, hunger and survival. Beneath the massive sugar pines and incense cedars, chipmunks scurry between rocks, cheeks puffed with seeds. They're not just collecting food, they're storing hope. Autumn isn't far, and the race to prepare has already begun. Above them, Stella's jays shout their raspy calls, warning of hawks gliding on thermals overhead. Even the air feels tense here, like every leaf carries secrets. As the morning warms, sunlight spills into the alpine meadows. Here, marmots emerge from rocky burrows, sniffing the air for danger. These plump rodents are often mistaken for lazy sunbathers, but don't be fooled, they're alert, always watching. Their whistles can halt an entire hillside of creatures. One sharp cry, and deer lift their heads, ground squirrels vanish, and the meadow returns to silence. Higher still, along granite ridges brushed with lichen, a bighorn sheep picks its way across a narrow ledge. Hooves grip stone as if the animal were part of the cliff itself. This is its kingdom, a world without roads or human sound. Here survival is vertical, a fall means death. But so does stopping. Meanwhile, deep within Yosemite's ancient forests, shadows dance under giant sequoias. These towering trees, some more than 3,000 years old, have watched generations of animals pass beneath their bark. They stand like guardians, silent and vast, offering both shelter and warning. Beneath their shade, a bobcat creeps through ferns, its muscles fluid and ears flicking with precision. It's hunting not with speed, but with silence. Each step it takes is calculated, a moment of stillness, a soft paw in the soil, a flick of its stubby tail. Then it leaps. A squirrel never sees it coming. The forest holds its breath, and then, just as quickly, exhales. The bobcat's life, like so many here, is ruled by patience and precision. There are no easy meals in Yosemite. No guarantees, only constant tests and consequences. But it's not just the animals that shape this wild world. The weather plays its part too. Summer brings heat and flash floods, lightning storms that split trees and spark fires. Fire, though destructive, is part of Yosemite's cycle. It clears the underbrush, makes way for new growth, and reveals seeds hidden in pine cones that only open after burning. Nature doesn't waste. Even chaos has a purpose. In the hidden corners of the park, those not touched by trails or tourists, another world pulses. Owls roost in hollow trunks, mountain kingsnakes slide through leaf litter, and red-spotted toads burrow beneath cool moss. Most visitors never see this side of Yosemite, but it thrives all the same. And above it all, the air shimmers with wings. The skies are ruled by the golden eagle, a fierce, silent hunter with eyes that can spot a rabbit from miles away. It rides the wind over alpine slopes, scanning, waiting, diving. Its talons strike with a force that crushes bone, and yet its flight remains graceful, like poetry on air. Even at its most brutal, nature here is beautiful. At dusk, the tone shifts. Long shadows stretch across the granite domes, and Yosemite prepares for another transformation. The night shift begins. Out from the undergrowth, a gray fox slinks between trees, its coat blending with the dying light. Unlike its cousin, the red fox, this species can climb, scaling low branches to stalk birds' nests or escape a predator. Few know this, but the gray fox is a secret acrobat of the forest, a rare skill in a world ruled by ground-based danger. In the cool mountain streams, water ouzels or American dippers dive under the surface. walking along the stream to find insect larvae. They blink with special membranes, their tiny bodies bouncing between rocks like water spirits. These birds are small, but their ability to thrive in cold, rushing waters is nothing short of miraculous. Meanwhile, in the higher elevations, a great horned owl takes flight. Its wings make no sound. Evolution has granted it a silent hunt. Below, a snowshoe hare nibbles nervously, its fur still brown despite the creeping chill of autumn. Soon it will turn white, matching the first snowfall. Camouflage, not just comfort, because in Yosemite, change is the only constant. As stars scatter across the sky, a mountain lion prowls along a ridgeline, its long tail balanced behind it like a shadow given shape. Solitary and silent, it moves like mist over stone. Few animals dare challenge the lion. It is the phantom of Yosemite, seen by few, feared by all. Yet even the mountain lion faces struggle. Prey grows scarce in lean years. Young cubs don't always survive. A single misstep can be fatal. Here, strength means little without strategy. In this land of towering cliffs and thundering rivers, survival is earned every day. It's written into claw marks on trees, into the broken shells of beetles, into feathers drifting on morning wind. And yet, for all its trials, Yosemite also nurtures. It gives life to newborn fawns hidden in grass, 2 black bear cubs learning to climb, to the first spring flower pushing through snow. Every death here feeds something else. Every fallen tree becomes a nursery. Every predator is also a parent. This is the balance of Yosemite, not peace, but a wild harmony. And so, the cycle continues. Tomorrow, the sun will rise again over Half Dome, a hawk will cry, a deer will bolt, a beetle will carry on unseen, the waterfall will roar, the wind will listen, and somewhere, deep in the forest, a creature will survive, or not, because Yosemite doesn't promise safety, but it promises life, wild, fierce, and always beautiful. The sun now hovered above the treetops, filtering shafts of warm gold through towering conifers. Yosemite's vast canvas changed by the hour. Morning mists had lifted, revealing a wilderness caught between harmony and hardship. On the granite cliffs of El Capitan, the peregrine falcons had returned. A young chick, just days from fledging, balanced near the edge of the nest. Below, wind scoured the rock face in sharp gusts. The mother falcon, dark eyes scanning, shrieked once, then took off in a powerful dive. Wings swept, cutting the air with predator grace. Across the meadowlands, mule deer grazed with cautious movements. A fawn lifted its head, ears pivoting at the crack of a twig. The mother stepped in front of it instinctively, her breath shallow. Deep within the tree line, a pair of coyotes watched. They were lean from a poor winter, and the hunger in their eyes ran deeper than instinct. The alpha coyote crept forward, muscles tense. But before he could launch, a sudden scream pierced the air, the warning call of a scrub. Jay the deer scattered. Frustrated, the coyotes faded into the underbrush, defeated. For now, not far off, the Merced River whispered through its winding path. Along its banks, a black bear mother and her cub rolled stones in search of grubs and beetles. The cub pounced playfully, tumbling in wet leaves, unaware of the danger that silence sometimes brings. From upstream, a mountain lion crouched low beneath hanging alder branches. It had been stalking the bear for the last 20 minutes, not to attack, but to pass, unnoticed, toward a grazing mule deer it had tracked since dawn. Yosemite's apex predators shared space, but rarely paths. Suddenly, the mountain lion paused. The wind shifted. Its golden eyes met those of the bear, not aggressive, not afraid. The moment passed like a breath. The lion turned, melting back into shadow. Deeper in the forest, a bobcat threaded silently between ferns. Unlike its larger cousin, the bobcat moved with feline subtlety. It stalked ground squirrels that scurried near fallen logs. With a spring, it struck, a silent, precise hunter in a place where loudness invited trouble. Above, the canopy rustled as a group of Steller's jays argued in blue flashes. The trees trembled slightly. Something larger was moving. A family of bighorn sheep descended from granite outcrops to drink at a hidden spring. Their hooves clacked softly on stone, nimble despite the incline. The silence was suddenly broken by the unmistakable rumble of shifting rock. A distant landslide, not massive, but enough to send a dust plume rising like a smoke signal. Yosemite constantly rebuilt itself, reshaping cliffs, carving paths, reminding all creatures that change is the park's oldest law. Midday arrived with a sharp glare over Glacier Point. A red-tailed hawk circled high, scanning the sun-bleached valley. On the open flats below, A lone badger dug frantically into a gopher burrow, tossing earth behind like a miniature bulldozer. Elsewhere, a family of wild turkeys strutted through shaded glens, their feathers shimmered with bronze and green, heads bobbing nervously. Above them, in the same oak where the hawk had perched hours earlier, an owl slept, but night would bring its watchful return. As light faded slightly into golden afternoon, a rare shadow moved across the ridge, a Sierra Nevada red fox, its fur burnished like fire, its paws soundless, nearly extinct in the wild. This elusive animal lived like a ghost, a quiet miracle of the park. At the riverbank, amphibians stirred. A chorus of Pacific tree frogs began to chirp from behind mossy rocks. Their voices, small but synchronized, rippled over the surface like beads of rain. Near them, a western pond turtle peeked from beneath the reeds, ancient, slow, unbothered by time. By late afternoon, a storm teased the horizon. Clouds gathered behind Half Dome, coiling into steel-gray towers. Thunder rolled faintly in the distance, and Yosemite's creatures braced for nature's shift. Wind stirred treetops. Dust swirled across trailheads. Lightning finally cracked the sky, a single white vein splitting the dark clouds. Rain began, light at first, then sudden. Deer vanished into thickets, hawks sheltered beneath ledges. Water poured over stone, down waterfalls, into gullies and granite creases. Cleansing, wild, unstoppable. In the storm's heart, a family of raccoons huddled inside a hollow log. The cubs mewed softly, but the mother kept them still, watching the curtain of rain outside like a sentinel. Every creature from predator to prey had paused for the storm. It was not an enemy, it was part of the wild. When the rain lifted, the air changed. Clean, electric, alive. Steam rose in curls from warm rock. Ferns unfurled. The rivers flowed faster. A rattlesnake glided through soaked grasses. Its rattle damp, its movements fluid. From a distance, a bobcat watched again, one hunter curious about another. Evening descended slowly, turning everything gold again. High above, the falcon returned to her cliffside nest. The chick had not fallen. It had waited, shivering, for its mother's return. As she fed it morsels of fresh catch, the sky blushed behind them, pinks and purples layered like feathers. In the meadows, elk called to one another, deep and echoing. Their silhouettes stood proud in the mist, antlers etched like shadows into the sky. Crickets began their rhythmic songs. Fireflies blinked in low grasses, and beneath a juniper tree, a bobcat finally rested, its belly full, eyes half closed. Night returned with stars. Somewhere in the distance, a wolf howled, rare but real. Yosemite never promised safety, only beauty, only truth. And with each new day, that truth would rise again with the sun, across mountains, through rivers, inside every heartbeat of the wild. The first frost kisses Yosemite Valley as September's golden light softens into autumn's glow. Leaves of oak and maple begin to flame in scarlet and gold. Though the days remain warm, dusk brings a crisp chill that whispers of change. Creatures in Yosemite sense the shift. They move with intention now, not leisure. In the high meadows, mule deer herds descend from the high country. These graceful ungulates, with tracks measure 5,000 to 6,000 in the park, are thinning their mountain coats, shimmering with russet below fading grasses. The does lead their young through hidden trails bordered by rocky outcrops and dense brush. Every step matters. The more secure terrain offers both hiding spots and safe passage from predators. These deer forage during the soft hours before sunrise and after sunset, avoiding the exposed heat of day and the sharp eyes of golden eagles. Their large ears twist like satellite dishes for poisoned signals. They detect movement in the thicket. A coyote pack has moved closer. The coyotes in Yosemite, numbering between 400 and 600, shift strategy as autumn deepens. These adaptable omnivores, cache berries, and insects, but now they need lean meat to fuel scar-free winters. At dawn, 3 individuals slip between trees, working silent and low. The alpha halts scanning. A mule deer looks up. Within moments, anticipation trembles across the valley. But the deer move as a unit. They signal each other. The coyote hunt fails, but the coyotes retreat into brush and continue their search. Every failed attempt still teaches them something. Wind shifts, evasion patterns, herd behavior. Meanwhile, black bears bulk up for winter. Autumn transforms them from forage wanderers to rubbery giants. Their daily intake skyrockets. Berries, acorns, tubers, nuts, they consume up to 20,000 calories a day. Their fat percentages rise, bodies rounded not by lethargy but by survival. These omnivores roam dozens of miles every day, sniffing distant seeds and roots, finally digging dens beneath large evergreens or natural hollow logs as November approaches. Surprisingly, many adult bears give birth mid-hibernation. New cubs arrive in January, cold and pink, as their mother sleeps. Over the season, Yosemite's bear population holds fairly steady, some 300 to 500 individuals, proof of remarkable resilience. Across narrow ridges, a golden eagle circles high above. It is early afternoon, and thermals rise below, giving effortless lift. With a wingspan nearing 7 feet, the eagle scours the slope below. A lone coyote gazes upward. A flash of feathers, then a dive at 150 miles per hour. Talons meet fur. The eagle holds tight as the coyote scrambles. From October through December, 70% of the eagle's hunts target small mammals and young deer. Yet the eagle rarely attempts a haul much larger than a small fawn or coyote. The risk isn't worth it. Instead, it returns to a rocky perch, talons clasped, head still. It scans again, majestic, patient, precise. Elsewhere, along the Merced River, beavers reinforce their dams. These tireless builders, the largest rodents in North America, work with careful determination. They cut alder branches with gnawing teeth, haul them to the water's edge, and repair day after day. A mature beaver will gather over 200 branches in summer and autumn, building eco-engineered habitats that slow erosion, create wetland patches, and boosts biodiversity. Yosemite Conservancy found these dams increase local species counts by 25%. Now, the ponds they create serve as buffer zones against early freeze. Frog larvae flourish, fish spawn, and water retains freshness even as north winds begin to blow. But not all species thrive. In the shadowed underbrush near granite walls, a Sierra Nevada red fox, a rare survivor, emerges. Its fire-red fur stands out among yellowing grasses. With an estimated population of only a few dozen deep in the park, it must avoid coyotes, golden eagles, and human contact. Its paws barely stir the leaves as it hunts small mammals and insects, staying light and low. In higher elevations near El Capitan, snow begins to dust the domes by late October. A pickersmall and rabbit-like lives in rock piles above 9,500 feet. To survive, it collects grasses in midsummer and bakes them in sunlit cache piles that act as hay through winter. Yet climate change forces some pickers further upward, shrinking their territory and supply zones. Autumn nights cool sharply. A barn owl glides soundlessly across the clearing below. Below, the peakers retreat to crevices. Above, bats stir and hunt. A chorus of crickets and tree frogs echoes beneath silver moonlight. Survival shifts into nocturnal mode, cooler air, fewer predators, salvaging every calorie. At dawn, early November rolls in with wind-whipped leaves. Mule deer have reached lower elevations. Cottonwoods rustle above their passage. The older years does lead fawns with powerful leaps. Hunger slows none but wolves, rare in Yosemite yet occasional visitors. One pack seen in 2023, its howl distant and poignant. For mule deer, the threat remains. Each autumn rattle changes the pattern of movement. In the twilight of autumn, along high granite ridges, a mountain lion patrols. It has mated this season, and cubs hide in dens now. The lion avoids direct confrontation with coyotes or wolves, but defends territory fiercely. Its walking path slices across deer corridors. When necessary, speed becomes lethal. 17 to 20 miles per hour, burst motion across chaparral slopes. Each mission, successful or not, ensures it continues to breed and survive. Now, winter's promise grows. Aspen stands flame with golden yellow leaves, and the Sierra peaks behind snowlines sharpen. Streams swell with runoff as temps rise briefly before cold returns. Life is frenetic. Competitors meet over food. Scraps raccoons, squirrels, birds, raven flocks. Beavers tightrope across pond ice. Badgers chase gophers. Ground squirrels retreat underground. By the time December arrives, Yosemite's blood-pulsed story has changed tone. Tilt of decline, tension thick with cold, survival measured in endurance and reserves. But always, the golden eagle, the black bear, the beaver, the fox, the bobcat, they endure, they adapt, they renew. Autumn is a turn, not an end. It readies the next chapter. Winter is season of stillness, hunger, and last chance survival. Winter descends not with a roar, but with a slow, icy breath that settles into every corner of Yosemite. The once golden meadows are now whitewashed under thick blankets of snow. Trees stand like sentinels, their bare limbs etched against the pale sky. The stillness is deceptive beneath this frozen surface. Life hangs on by a thread. The silence of snow. In the high elevations, the wind slices through the granite peaks, carrying whispers of the past seasons. It scours the land, stripping away the weak, sealing the fates of the unprepared. Most animals retreat, some burrow, some vanish altogether. But some, those shaped by millennia of survival, remain active. Coyotes, leaner now and more solitary, trek long distances across snowy ridges. Their paws are designed to spread their weight, gliding across the crust without sinking. Every movement is a calculation: conserve energy, stay warm, find food. They follow deer tracks, listen for small rodents under snow, and scavenge when necessary. In these lean months, coyotes often team up with ravens and otter lions, where one finds the prey, and the other takes advantage of the leftovers. High above, golden eagles still soar on frigid thermals. Prey is scarce, but opportunity still exists. Carrion frozen deer or small mammals that failed to escape the cold is a vital part of the eagle's winter diet. Occasionally, a squirrel, having miscalculated its food supply, ventures too far from shelter and falls victim to talons. Under the snowpack, a different world exists. Mice and voles carve intricate tunnels in the subnivean layer, the thin space between snow and soil. This zone is a hidden highway system where temperatures remain just above freezing. Owls, especially the great gray owl, have adapted to hear the faintest scurry through layers of snow. With pinpoint precision, they dive, breaking through the crust to snatch prey sight unseen. In frozen ponds, frogs enter suspended animation. Their hearts stop, their blood thickens with glucose that acts like antifreeze. Painted turtles do the same, remaining perfectly still for months. Beneath Yosemite's silence, a pulse persists. In dens scattered across the park, black bears lie in torpor state, deeper than sleep, but lighter than true hibernation. Inside a hollowed-out log or beneath roots, a female bear sleeps with her newborn cubs curled against her. The tiny cubs, born blind and helpless in January, nurse as their mother dozes. Her body burns fat steadily, never waking fully, but always listening, breathing slow and deep. A male bear, curled alone in his den farther south, stirs briefly as a snowmelt stream shifts course. He won't eat, drink, or defecate for months, yet his body maintains muscle and organ strength, an evolutionary miracle of conservation. At 10,000 feet, near the wind-blasted slopes of Mount Dana, the Sierra Nevada bighorn sheep stand vigil. They do not flee the cold. Instead, they face it. Their woolly coats are dense, and their split hooves grip ice-covered cliffs. They survive by foraging exposed lichen and dry grasses poking from wind-scraped rocks. The rams, having clashed horns during the rut in autumn, now coexist in temporary peace. But their biggest threat is not hunger, it is the avalanche. A single misstep on a steep slope, a sound too loud, and tons of snow could crash down without mercy. These sheep are masters of balance in body and in fate. Through lower forests, a bobcat prowls under moonlight. Smaller than a cougar but no less lethal, the bobcat's winter coat thickens and blends with frostbitten bark. It stalks silently, often near the edges of civilization, where mice might gather around trash left by summer hikers. Each step leaves a clean track in the snow, like a story told to no one. Not far away, the elusive Sierra Nevada red fox pads across a snowfield. One of the rarest mammals in North America, it is built for the cold. Large furry paws, thick tail, and reddish coat streaked with silver. It listens for vole movements under the snow, then leaps, diving headfirst into the white. The strike is swift, survival sharp. The shortest day arrives, the winter solstice. The sun barely brushes the tops of Half Dome and El Capitan before vanishing. Temperatures plummet to single digits, yet a surprising calm sets in. The Merced River slows under sheets of ice. The wind hushes for a few hours, even predators sleep. A gray squirrel emerges from its hollow tree, digging up a buried acorn stashed back in September. It eats quickly, its breath fogging in the air. In a nearby log, a ringtailor, secretive, cat-like mammal creeps along the bark. It too searches for scraps. Winter spares no one, but rewards the prepared. On a sunlit cliff face warmed just enough by midday light, a western fence lizard stirs briefly from its brumation, a reptilian form of dormancy. It won't feed, just soak in precious heat. Its body slows again when clouds roll in. Meanwhile, down in Yosemite Valley, ravens and jays grow bold. They follow human footprints, learning where food might be left behind. In winter, intelligence can mean survival. By late February, subtle shifts appear. Days lengthen. Icicles drip more rapidly in the sun. A skunk emerges one night in search of a mate. The first black bear wakes. A raccoon washes frozen seeds in a half-thawed stream. Somewhere in a hollow tree, an owl chick hatches, Life hasn't paused, it's been enduring, waiting, whispering beneath the snow. Yosemite in winter is raw, quiet, and brutal, but it's also a place of delicate balance and invisible resilience. Each creature, whether curled in slumber, gliding silently above, or braving the cold for food, tells a story of survival. From the beavers at shaped watery sanctuaries, to the foxes hunting unseen beneath snow and bears dreaming beneath the pines, it is part of a dance older than time. As the season closes, the wheel turns again. Spring waits just beyond the horizon. But for now, Yosemite sleeps blanketed, beautiful, and alive.